Nick, a lot of investors hoped the Fed would be more dovish than it was in its statement yesterday. What was your read on the pace of rate hikes from this point?
I don't think we change our view at all. We've always been closer to the Fed than the market in terms of expectations of rates. The statement yesterday was fairly balanced. It obviously had to acknowledge what was going on in markets, acknowledge the weaker economic picture, but not project too much anxiety about that. So from our side, fairly balanced.
The Fed did remove one of its statements about balance, and it almost suggests now that there might be a level of imbalance in the markets because it's removed that reference to the economic outlook being balanced. We're back watching the data again. Do you think this means that the Fed can actually lift off in March? Do we really have a live meeting coming up at the next Fed gathering?
We think so. I think it's very much in place still. Sure, that language was removed, but ultimately that certainly reflects the acknowledgement of what's going on in the market. That had to be some reflected on that.
No, I'm just going to refer, so that viewers have got it out there. The S&P has put out a note saying the credit downturn will deepen for Chinese banks in 2016, adding that non-performing loan ratio will reach 3% as opposed to the previous 2.2%. I only mention this, A, to tell our viewers that there's a more concern about China credit, but also saying that the committee, in its own words, says is closely monitoring the global economic and financial developments and is assessing their implications for the labour market inflation. So I think that was the dovish nod. I think that's what the Fed gave the markets in terms of we are watching other events and market volatility and what's going on in China and elsewhere. But I don't know what the market expected. I don't know why you would expect more than that from a Federal Reserve which has said 4 in 2016. The market's thinking somewhere between 1 and 2, possibly as high as 3 from what the analysts are saying. But I don't know what more the market could have expected rather than that nod to global events.
That's entirely right. There is a disconnect between what the market expects and what the Fed expects. And that came to the fore yesterday, where markets sort of got ahead of themselves in some way. If they'd come out, and the counter, of course, is they'd come out and said that the global economic picture deteriorated to such a degree we are relooking at the entire path. It's unclear whether that would have been a positive impact for markets.